Kia ora. Okay, this is me filming my second confessional for Samevivor. Very excited about it. I've been given a set of confessional questions that I will be answering for you. So first things first, I am the realist. Second things second, how has it been going on, yes sir? Anything interesting? How do you think avoiding tribal last round has furthered your connection with your tribe mates? I honestly think I really benefited from winning the challenge. Like in episode one, I mean, because holy shit, I was kind of behind the eight ball when it came to that episode. Because I mean, Valentine's Day, we know what happened for my Valentine's Day, but also that nostalgia fest, and also just hosting Ladviver. That's three things that have honestly made me kind of inactive, at least the first episode. So I'm pleased because I honestly think I've been able to make up some ground since then. So avoiding tribal council last round certainly affected my game and furthered my connection with tribe mates because it actually gave me the opportunity to prove myself as a social player. Anything interesting? I mean, we can get later on into the vid, you know. Anyways, did I expect... Okay, anything interesting? And then this question comes up. Did you expect Max to be the first boot? Any thoughts on what potentially went down? So, I know only a fringe group of people watch these, but I'm still nervous to talk about this. Basically, someone on my tribe talked about how they had an awful interaction with Max just before the season began, and that jolted me a little bit because obviously I know Max for obviously not obviously. Sorry about that. I played with Max in Charit Org, my last org, and so just the sheer concept of Max being that sort of person, or going, you know, and saying that sort of stuff, kind of took me aback because gosh, you know, I just didn't expect that from him, sort of thing. But we'll see if it's substantiated. I don't know. But yeah, overall, I was kind of sad to see that Max went because that's someone that I had a pre-existing relationship with. So it would have been nice, but at the same time, like it happens. So la di da, you know. Also, don't you love my shirt? Anyways. Any thoughts on what potentially went down? Well, I read somewhere that he left the server, so a large part of me thinks that he was blindsided a little, which, I mean, is a way to go. And if that's me, then, oh well. Because honestly, I'm just here for a good time. I'm just here to show ass, you know, show face. Really, I'm just here to become an alumni of Samevivor. I'm just here to become an alumni, you know, let me live. How important is the next immunity challenge? Do I think we can win again? We didn't, rip, which was sad, to be honest, because I hoped that we would have. Just because that way we would have maintained the momentum, and it honestly renders the episode 1 win useless anyways. Plus, it would have been amazing to have Andrew as the person to vote out designated in that double tribal council that's going to be in the next episode, which don't get me started on how we know what's coming. That, like, kind of gets me going, so yeah. Anyways, do I think we can snatch the next win? Well, it's kind of funny you mention, because when it came to the challenge, Kels was not the best caller. In fact, she was awful. But when I say awful, I also am unsure because I honestly don't know how fast the average is for that challenge. It was the first time I'd ever done that challenge, and honestly, at the start of doing the challenge, which is blind leading the blind for those that are watching this video without knowing, um, blind leading the blind transferred to Discord, which was really cool to see. So firstly, props to the production team. But yeah, once we did the challenge, I realized that I could simply try and crack the code myself. And so as soon as I worked out that the first word was probably going to be the, I then saw that the word earth was in the equation, and there aren't many words that start E blank blank TH. There's the burp. Push came to shove, and I worked out that it was what it was. The most powerful weapon on Earth is the human soul on fire, which I don't know what is from, but I worked it out. And so I was kind of the hero of my tribe, which was really cool, but at the same time, like, kind of annoying because it was a hollow victory in the end, considering the fact that we lost. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of over prepared for the challenge, which is, I guess, a good thing because it proves our determination, our grit, our desire to win. But at the same time, like, I would prefer to win, just outright. So, la-di-da, it is what it is. Who is the one player on Lepivi you are most interested in playing with, and who is the least interesting? To me, I think Zanny is the most interesting player because Zanny was the caller, so is evidently putting some effort into this org, and Zanny is someone that I already know because we played in Back to Basics together. As for least interesting, they're so boring that I can't tell. I can't think of who's on the other tribe right now. Honestly, my goal right now is to simply survive, because I am paranoid that I am going to be voted out. If I am voted out, then la-di-da, it is what it is, but yeah, I really do think it will be Andrew. This episode is already giving me vibes of Jean Hu when I played Survive Org. Sorry to be meta, but it's the same tribe colours as Survivor China, and there was an early elimination on that season that I was involved with that was very easy, and I feel like Andrew's elimination here, spoilers, Andrew's elimination here is kind of that way as well. From my perspective, who is at the bottom of the tribe and who's at the top, and where do I rank? I honestly think I'm somewhere in the middle, but I honestly think everyone's kind of somewhere in the middle. I think that Andrew is on the bottom. I think that Diana is on the top. I think that Cal's is at a similar position to me, but Cal's has done a lot of bad and good things, whereas I've done like the same. It's just all equally worked out to zero sort of thing. But honestly, a lot of these men blur into one. Dante, Clink, Ryan in particular. Ryan is someone that I honestly thought I'd be connecting with a little more. Ryan reminds me of Layla and other players. Hi Layla, if you're watching this. Other players who I see that are really just strategic, and I don't know. Those are the ones I have to watch out for, I guess, because I've learned from playing with those sorts of players that they don't give you much, but somehow you still want to talk to them, which is really interesting. Ryan's kind of really inactive, and yet is going to get away with it too. So that's like something that I am noticing, and if I had to pick right now who I wanted to go home in the next challenge, or after the Double Trouble Council, it would honestly probably be Ryan, simply because he sat out of this challenge, so it's kind of easier for me to make an argument against the fact that he isn't cohesive with the tribe, I guess, because he's now tested to be absent with us, but also I just think that I'm not making that much of a connection with him, and he's an American man, so it all works out. Yeah. Final question, would you rather know all the mysteries of the universe or know every outcome of every choice I make? I would totally pick all the mysteries because it's honestly the same fallacy as I talked about in Tribal Council just before, where you can know too much almost, and I hate knowing too much. But yeah, moments like these, I feel like I know too much because I know the entire format of the season, and it's kind of confronting because, like, there's ignorance is bliss, and not knowing is sometimes better than knowing. And so, yeah, sometimes you just prefer not to. I would rather have the surprise sometimes, not every knife can come from the front. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I would pick Mysteries of the Universe because much like how Samevivor has spoiled all the twists, knowing every outcome of every choice would kind of spoil my life into an overthinking mess too. So yeah, there you go. Anyways, if you've made it this far, thank you. I sat down and lay back in this episode of me confessing, but I hope it was still fine. I'll catch you on the flip side, and I hope that I survive. Fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. Okay. Catch ya!